Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're working in the greenhouse. I'm going to get some more seeds started. I have started some peppers, tomatoes, and other odds and ends, but I have a lot more seeds that I want to get started, and I wanted to show you guys a few things that I've been working on in the yard to expand the garden and beautify it just a little bit. So I want to take you guys along and let's get started. Alright, so here is our grow station setup. I've got a kaffir lime plant up there that's just getting underway. Here are some peppers and tomatoes. Almost all of our tomatoes have sprouted. You know, as usual, the peppers are a little behind. That's normal. Down here is primarily peppers. A few tomatoes that I kind of forgot about, and then I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to plant those. Excuse the sound of the fan. It's a little warm in here today. These are just some pretty flowers that I am going to put outside. Some more of the pineapple sage. I bought a start because I started some pineapple sage seeds. They've been really slow to germinate. I saw these in my local nursery, and I couldn't help it, so I bought it. I couldn't get enough of this last year. It smells and tastes so good. So here we've got some pineapples. These are white jade variety. So we've got 2 pineapples. This is going to be a long process. I'm doing this more for the enjoyment and the education of growing, and less about making, you know, enough pineapple to feed the family. We just want to see how the pineapples grow and how they do in our climate, or in the greenhouse rather. These are just a few of the photo boxes that I keep my seeds in. Shout out to Roots and Refuge. This is my favorite sticker. And I have pulled a bunch more seeds for us to sow today. I wanted to show you guys this cart. It has been so helpful. I got this at Walmart. It's like a prep station cart. And my plan is, when it's time to start hardening these starts off, I'm going to put them on here because it has wheels, or it has, 2 wheels in the back. I will be able to pull it out of the greenhouse, let it get some sun, and push it back in. So that is my plan, and I'm so excited about it. Right now I am just separating all of the seeds that I brought out to start today into ones that I'm going to start and ones that I'm going to direct sow. Okay, so all of these are cucumbers and melons and squash. These are all going to be direct sow into the garden. So I'm going to put these aside and we'll deal with those later. I really enjoy these thicker plastic, tall seed starting cells as opposed to these flimsy, shorter ones. This is what I've used for a couple of years, but I bought these ones last year, and the difference is huge. So I will be buying these whenever I need to replace them, but it doesn't seem like I'll need to replace these for a very long time. Just going through some old labels to make sure I'm not about to rewrite labels for something that I've already grown in the past. So it's always a good practice to try to reuse everything you can think of. First things first, have to make all of our labels. Organization is key. Even though sometimes it's a drag, you want to just get the seeds into the dirt. Organization, when you do it, it makes you feel so much better about the process. So let's just get it done. Now, with the sweet basil or the Genovese basil, I will start some now in the greenhouse, but I have a very long growing season, and sweet basil grows really fast in my experience, so I will sow some now just because I want to, but more than likely I will direct sow a lot more in the garden around my tomatoes. That tends to be a really nice pairing. Not only do they taste good together, tomatoes and basil, but they grow very well together. Lemon basil is one of my favorites, so I'll grow a good amount of this one. Honestly, I probably don't even need to plant this Thai basil. It seems to reseed very readily in my garden, almost to the status of being a weed. But the reason why I don't call it a weed is because we absolutely love it and we use a lot of it. So it's a very delicious weed in our yard. Now when you go, I'm going to quick little tip here. When you go to harvest these off of your plant, they'll be in a little seed pod like this. So kind of a large seed pod. Inside of each of these pods are 3 to 4 seeds. You can open these up and it will help your germination speed, but you don't have to. Take it from me, they will break down and germinate eventually. Sometimes I just kind of rub them between my fingers to help it out, instead of painstakingly opening each pod and pouring out the seed. It's just not necessary. It's helpful, but it's not necessary. I planted some ashwagandha in the fall, and I thought that it was starting to germinate and grow, but we had a much colder and snowier fall than usual, so I'm not confident that these will come back. We'll see. I still have them out in one of the grow bags, but just in case, I'm gonna plant some in the spring and see what happens. Same thing with the Echinacea. All of the different varieties of Echinacea I planted in the fall. They kind of gotten overtaken by weeds, and because the fall was the first time that I'd grown Echinacea, it's hard for me to distinguish what's a weed and what's the actual young seedling. So I'm going to grow some of these in a controlled environment so that I can see what they actually look like. So when I go to weed those grow bags, I'll know what's a weed and what's not. These are a little bit of a larger seed, so I push them down into the soil like I would a green bean. For tomatillos, make sure that you plant more than one seed. You need at least 2 plants. So I sow 3 to 4 seeds just to make sure that I have enough. And you can separate these out once they grow, just like you would a tomato seedling. These two are 2 others that I'm not even sure that I need to plant because they re-sow themselves so readily in the yard, and that is amaranth. I have the callaloo type and the Chinese amaranth. They're both delicious. I use them primarily as a green in the summertime because a lot of the greens and lettuces get really bitter and these don't, so that's how I like to eat them. These are the tiniest seeds. I've never grown this herb before, and these are so tiny. Trying to be careful so that I don't waste them. I get these from an Etsy seller, so I'm not sure how well they will do just yet, but I'm excited to see because they have a lot of reported medicinal benefits. Okay, so that is another full tray. I'm going to put these under the grow lights, cover them with these plastic domes until they germinate, and keep them on heat mats. I do have a small heater that I've been turning on during these cold nights, but you have to remember to turn it off during the day or set a timer to turn it off because it gets really warm in here. So I will put these under the grow lights and we can go back outside. And two other seeds that I'm going to start today. One are these ginkgo biloba seeds. I'm just going to start 2 of them. and passion flower seeds, and I'm going to start some of those. Because the passion flower plant grows really, really vigorously, I'm going to grow it in a pot, and because the ginkgo biloba is a tree, I'm going to grow it as well in a pot. So I got these pots online from Amazon last year. They're pretty good. So I'm going to go grab some dirt and I'll be right back. So in these 3 pots, I put a little of used soil from one of my grow bags. I'm going to top it off with some seed starting mix, just so it's a little lighter and airier and easier for the seedlings to emerge. But there's some nutrients still left in the soil beneath it, and that will help it just to continue growing past the seedling stage. I'm actually going to do 3 in the passion flower pot just to make sure we can ensure germination. Okay, I'm going to put these also under the grow lights. I have a few Dr. Witchy's tomatoes, or Dr. Weish's tomatoes in slightly larger pots, and I'm going to put them on that same shelf. I will return all of these seeds to their rightful place in those photo boxes so that I can stay organized. I have had the tendency in the past of leaving them in a box or my basket or something like that, so I'm going to try not to do that. Sometimes when I'm out here at night, I will light this citronella candle and play in the seeds. So, a little warm today. It's in the 80s Fahrenheit, so it is a nice day to be out and about. Just getting me revved up for that hot, sweaty North Carolina summer. It is a beautiful day out here, actually. I'm going to go show you something else beautiful that I've been working on. I found these at my local Tractor Supply. Aren't they so cute? Oh my goodness, so cute. And then I put these planters right here, and I have them on both sides of the greenhouse. So can you picture it? Can you guys picture it? It's gonna be so nice. So I'm gonna have a lot of black and deep red flowers. I'm gonna use the beds primarily for a few lower height vegetables, and I did move my herb garden over to this side and added a few little asparagus trays. So yeah, those are some of the new beautiful things that I added to the garden. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and helping me get a few things done. It is so nice outside. It is beautiful. If you have the opportunity, if it's beautiful where you are, please go outside and enjoy it and do something beautiful. Bye.